rolling.
Hi.
Welcome to Happy Hour with
Ruth
and Roxy.
I'll be right back. My dog dropped his toy.
Yep, that's the way it goes here. And
that's how it happens.
we got three around here
We
today.
have three dogs here, so
you're going to hear squeaking in the
Yes, you
background,
will.
and if it's only toys, then that's a good thing.
that's right. So, I might have to duck out to throw.
I think last
throw
episode
toys.
it was me ducking out to
Yes.
always let
Yep,
somebody
okay.
in or out. And it's crazy. So cheers and
cheers.
happy Friday.
Yeah.
Couldn't come at a
Fridays,
better...
even though it was a short week.
It was a short week, but boy, it didn't feel that way. So what are we drinking today?
So we're drinking,
yes.
here, you talk
I
about
will.
it.
So this is called Cedar Creek Sauvignon Blanc, and it is from the Okanagan Valley. And we haven't been to this one.
I'm so sorry, but your dog is dumb.
Oh, he
I
does
threw
not
it
know
and
how to
it sat
catch.
beside him. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
was like, where'd it go? Where'd you throw it? Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
It takes them a while. Like your dogs can catch, right?
Well, Scruffy can.
Scruffy can,
Chalupa's beyond that.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, Luna she snags stuff out of the air, like really, really well. He'll watch it come and like slam him between the eyeballs. Nope, it's just
He's
not
really
there.
cute, but that was funny because it landed a bit like, and he's a bit fuzzy.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So he was like, well, where? But
It's gone. It
he
disappeared.
looked panic-stricken that it was gone.
He's funny.
Okay, anyway, tell your story about the wine, because
I'm pretty sure that one was a BC wine store purchase.
Right.
Because we haven't been to that winery, but it's really good.
It is great.
I really like this one.
It's because I'm definitely a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc human, and I like South African Sauvignon Blanc, but it's not. I know when it's New Zealand, I'm at my happiest.
Yeah.
And this one is as close
really
as I've
close.
ever had.
Yeah, this one is really close.
It's really good.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I like it. What are we starting with today? Ruth?
Well, you know what? Roxanne and I have the same ophthalmologist. Is that the right word? Optometrist. I always get them wrong. And anyway, I went to see her yesterday just for the yearly check, and I go once a year, and I've only been there for 2 years in a row, and they're fabulous. It's Langley. What's it called?
Willoughby Doctors of Optometry.
Willoughby Doctors, and it's in Langley, and we'll put links. But when I walked in, she was like, Ruth, and I was like, holy doodle, how does? First of all, she is incredible. Client service.
Yeah.
I would say patient service, but you're not in the hospital. But she's really great. But I was like, what's wrong? Why? And then
why do you know me?
She was like, I know your face from the podcast, which is really sweet. Right? And then when we were sitting there, and she's like, oh yeah, and your husband was just in not so long ago, which is what a great memory. Like, like how?
And I'm sure she takes notes, but still, but she might not take notes, you know?
But also, I think she's just a really engaged, lovely human. And if she takes notes, she takes the time to go review them.
Yes.
And then, but she isn't like we were just talking. She's actually going to Greece. I'm gonna forget when. So I told her we'd send for Athens, that food history tour that we won.
Yeah, because that was such
it was
a good
really
one.
great. Yeah. And they're going to go to a few islands and do some stuff. And it's like she's like, I wish she lived closer so she could come for a glass of wine, because she's really lovely.
I really
and
like
now
her.
her name has escaped me.
Maye Doldolea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because
I always call her Maye because her name is actually spelled Maye.
Yeah.
And to me, don't ask me why, but to me that's Maye. But it's May.
Right.
And Doldolea, I believe, is I want to say Indonesian, but
yeah. But so my apologies, Dr. Doldolea, because today's also the day we went for a walk with the dogs, and I get back in. And it's like, I don't know where my glasses are. And I don't usually wear them when I'm walking outside, just because if it's rainy or anything.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, so where Chalupa stopped to have a little poop, I took the bag out and my glasses came out, which I didn't know until I got home.
Oh, they were in the bag, your pocket with the bags.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I have to not do that. But so that's the kind of day, which is why I only saw her yesterday, and her name ran out of my head.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, we will put a link if you're anywhere near Langley. She is the person to go to.
She's good.
Oh my God, she found in I had a high pressure in one of my.
Oh, that's right.
And I had gone to other optometrists before, and nobody ever said anything. And she was like, "Yeah, we're going to get you to go to a specialist." And then they fixed it. Like I had gone, like less than probably a year before that, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I remember when you had that done because I remember you being freaked out about it because they actually have to sort of drain. They have to kind of poke a hole in your eye.
Yeah, they
to
like
drain
it's a laser
to the
thing,
pressure.
right?
Yeah, with the laser.
Yeah.
But and it was a little freaky.
Well, it was, but thank goodness that she saw it, and now she does such a thorough. Like honestly, she not only is she a really interesting, kind, inclusive, welcoming human, but she's really good at what she does.
Yeah.
Right? So
I think
we'll
she
put a
is
little
too.
thing. Yeah.
And I really like her support staff also.
Oh, everybody there is fabulous.
And that is huge, right?
Yeah.
Like her opticians are really good.
Yeah.
Now I can't remember her name off the bat, but she's fantastic.
They're also helpful. And when I walked in, because of course I got these glasses there, and when I walked in, what the woman that was sitting at the front desk was like, I know those glasses, they look so good, right?
That's
they're
Lonnie.
just so nice, right?
Yeah, I really, I like
what
that.
are you
I remember
doing?
that. I remember it's so fun to try on glasses.
It is fun to
since
try
I
on
got
glasses.
my lens replacement so that I can actually see without glasses, because all my life I would go in and I would try on glasses and I'd be like, I don't know.
But you didn't have somebody with you too. It makes it more fun when somebody can give you feedback.
Somebody might say, yeah, those look good. Yeah, those also look good. Yeah, those also. Or like nobody's going to say, ooh.
I would though.
Yeah, you would. But so when cell phones came in, then I would take pictures of myself and look at them. So I've somewhere on my, this is probably why I run out of space on my storage.
Oh, we should share some of those on the blog. That would be really fun.
That would be funny. Anyway. But yeah, it's so fun to try on glasses. I remember when you bought those frames. I love those frames. I still like them.
I like them too. And they remind me because it was just after
jealous.
Jimmy Buffett had died.
I'm jealous.
Right? Do you want to try them on?
No. It's okay.
But it was just so, and they're like turquoisey, like the ocean.
It's a good color,
right?
yeah.
And so it reminds me every once in a while. I see it, and it makes me think of Jimmy, which makes me think of the ocean.
Well, and it's so your color. If you guys, if we could turn the camera all around here to see, this color is everywhere. Like
It
is. Yeah,
is.
it's your color. It's a good one.
Yeah.
So that's fun. That's good.
So that is good. So
I
yes.
go next week to see the retinal specialist. I will see your optometrist and raise you a retinal specialist. And they'll tell me if my little tear is healing appropriately.
Right.
So,
But you think it is? Like you haven't had any issues?
Yeah,
right?
I think it is. Yeah, I haven't had any issues. So this is my little PSA here. So we talked about all that whole thing on the here, I think, right? So if you ever happen to see something that comes across your vision like that, it's worth go getting it checked out. My brother just texted me a couple of days ago to ask me what that looked like when it happened to me, because the same thing happened to him.
And
so
it's like
later,
a curtain.
It looked like so there's kind of two levels of thing that can happen in your eyes, and the first one that's common and relatively harmless is the vitreous detachment, when the jelly like fluid inside your eye peels away from the retina, and it looks like a big spider or a bat. I described it as a bat. Something black just flew across your eye, and you're just waiting, but it floats because it's in the gel, so it floats. Anyway, there's nothing to be done about that, and they do go away. Your brain learns to ignore the giant bat in front of your eye, believe it or not. But when the vitreous pulls away from the retina, it can sometimes take the retina with it,
right,
and cause a tear. That looks different. That looks like, I described it as looking through a screen door. I was like, oh, there's hash. I'm looking through a veil here, and that doesn't go away.
Right.
And a tear can be fixed, but detachment
is a challenge.
Challenge, yeah. So he ended up with he said 3 tears, and they were growing.
Wow.
So he's got some vision loss. I don't know if his is going to be better. So
wow, that's scary.
Anyway,
but you know what? But for me, anything with my eyes, it like freaks me out. Right?
Yeah. Well, I had somebody talk to me recently. They had been considering getting the lens replacement surgery that I got. And she said, I decided against it. You might have been there. I can't remember who I was talking to. Because they put in one lens for near vision and one lens for far vision, which is, and she said, then that way I'm afraid, because if then something goes wrong with one eye, I don't have whatever that vision is that I lost.
Right.
And yeah, she's right. I use this eye for reading and this eye for everything else, but that's not but your brain is doing that automatically, right? And I was doing that before.
Right. It doesn't
you're doing
naturally
it
because
naturally.
Eyes are stronger. I'm going to go put the fan on, but I have to tell you guys, first of all, you have insane straight posture. Like I see me slouching here, and I look over at you.
Yeah, I have
and you're
posture because of the pillow.
Yeah,
Get a pillow.
I will get a pillow. But also the two dogs. So Neo's laying on the floor, and he wants Scruffy to play. Although at first Scruffy has a little toy, you guys, and I think Neo wanted it, and they were having a stare down. It was just like.
Yeah,
it was okay. I had my hand there. It was good. I'm just going to turn a fan on because
you're a little
a
warm.
hot flash.
Well, I'm glad I had on a heavier sweater plus a knitted vest, not an undershirt this time, or camisole we call it actually. And
when we're being classy,
when we're being classy. But this is good. Excuse me.
Oops,
there it is.
I set them off.
Yep. There's the.
That was me making the squeaky toy.
I love those fringy jeans you got on today.
Yes, I would show you guys, but I'm not that flexible.
You
today.
can get your leg up here. Boom! There we go. See, look at that. Aren't they cool?
With my granny slippers.
I like those. Also, the slippers are cool.
So we've talked about BookBub, which is a fabulous. Like you get some great books for sometimes for free, sometimes for 99, some for $1. Like even cookbooks and stuff, right? Like there's some great stuff that depending on what you click on, they said like the algorithm, however they have it. Because I clicked a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But I find, especially if let's say I buy, like a mystery novel, serial killer, just saying. I seem to get more of those after that, right? You know what I mean?
I've noticed that too.
Right?
Yeah.
But I was reading something, and I have a whole list of sites for free books, which is really awesome. We'll put them, So we'll put them up. But I was thinking, like, I am happy to pay for art. I am absolutely happy. So explain to us, Roxy, please. What does the author get out of this? Because if they don't get anything, I'm not sharing these.
Yeah, so that's really, I'm so glad you asked because we didn't rehearse any of this, just FYI. We never rehearse anything. But when you sent that to me, I actually went on, because initially I went, free books, huh? Let's see. I bet you they're pirated. So I clicked on a few, and some of them I know. And one of them, the one that I looked at was actually called Everand, I think, because I hadn't heard of that one before. And so I went, that one came from, Everand was it's not listed on this, but one of the, I think it was PDF Books World that I checked, and they actually distribute through Everand. Because I hadn't heard of some of these, and piracy, you guys, you have no idea how rampant it is. When you publish your books digitally, it's really easy to pirate them.
That's like, unfortunately, it's like the arts, right? Like it's like music,
totally.
and I am absolutely like, even with Roxanne, it's like when I
would give her books.
I know, but I'm always like at first until you like hit me with the book. I was always trying to pay because I'm okay. Like I am happy to pay for an artist's work, right? Because I have a huge amount of respect. And I also know how many people don't want to, and they're like, "Hey, just do it for exposure." Yeah, it's like I'll expose you.
Canadians die of exposure.
Exactly. Oh, look at Chalupa. Oh, hi. He's giving her a little paw because she's like, I don't want the writer to be
he let me touch his feet.
Yes, he will. Except not when you're doing his nails.
No, he doesn't like that. So I looked up a few of these, and the one that I happened onto, I dug a little deeper in there because, piracy is easy, and they look very legitimate, the piracy sites. And this one, the one that I found, distributes through Draft to Digital, which is the aggregator. Nobody cares about this. Okay, stop. That distributes the book. So it's legit.
Right.
So the one, so Draft to Digital is the one company that I publish my self-published books through. My publisher also uses that, I think. And they've got 18 places, it's Barnes & Noble and it's Apple and it's, all the others, plus library sites, plus a bunch of these sites that you mentioned here. So, So I think these are legit.
And we'll double check them. We'll share the ones that are legit.
Yeah.
But it is really, for me, because especially if I get one cheaper or free book of an author's, I happily go and buy all the others. Right, and that's sort of it's like milk, like the loss leader, right? Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm a little distracted because Luna is hilarious because Neo is hilarious because when he goes to get water, he puts his foot in the water dish. It's so funny.
Yeah, super funny until you've cleaned it up 18 times and he keeps spilling it.
You can't have this. It's Scruffy's buddy.
I learned how easy it is to pirate a book. Did I tell you about this?
No. Where are you going?
Don't dump the wine.
Yeah. Nope. Scruffy.
Hey.
I have to get my
he's
dog
gonna
back.
catch you.
Hey,
Something got.
come on.
The
You stay with me.
I got the rights back to.
Scruffy.
Forget which books it was, and I wanted to. So getting the rights reversion clause in a contract means that the publisher agrees that they will give you back the rights to publish it. They will stop publishing it, and you can do with it what you want. So if you're super lucky as a publisher,
Oh, you're fine.
and somebody else wants to publish your books, you're golden. And if not, good Lord, I might have to bring them home.
He's fine. They'll all settle down in a
You can
minute.
self-publish. You can publish it yourself. However, here's the thing: all the final files for that digital book were with the publisher.
Right.
All the edited files, edited, formatted, everything. Right. It costs money to do that, and I had my Word versions. Right. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Okay. Come here.
Here, I'll move this.
Yeah,
You'll be good.
that's a good idea.
Come here. There's a battle going on. They will settle down.
They will settle down.
But not Chalupa.
No, not him so much.
Oh, Scruffy.
Oh, now it's Scruffy.
Come here. Okay, here, let's pause this. And we're back.
And now I'll finish my long, boring story, and I'll make it slightly shorter and also still boring, but interesting to me, so it sucks to be you. So I lost the files to this book. I mean, they're on my computer somewhere. I know that, but I don't know how to locate them. So I could pay money to have somebody find the files for me, but I went to the publisher. Woo, good catch.
These are good.
And I said, can I have the files? And they said, you sure can, for $450. And I said, thank you very much. I'll figure out how to do it myself.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
So I essentially pirated my own book. And because I bought it, and then I bought a program to convert it anyway. Yeah, so
did you just admit to a federal crime?
no, I did
Are we
not.
gonna have to edit this out?
No, because A, Canadian, B, all legitimate sources. So
Okay.
anyway,
What
and
do you-
and it's mine.
Mine.
If I did it to somebody else's book, that's a problem.
Okay,
I did it
and
to my book.
so I remember during that time, and Roxanne she's not a cranky person, and so she was like,
Ooh. It was not good.
And it was like, let's just type it back in. And she was not having any of that. I would have typed it in. I like typing. It's like
my God.
chopping vegetables. It's like therapy.
Oh, this would not be therapy. Although it would be a good way to, re-edit my book.
Here, I'm just writing things down. Roxanne pirated her own book.
Yep, I sure
Okay.
did. I sure did. No regrets.
Okay, so I have one of the things I've been thinking about because, it feels hard for a lot of people right now. Is
Life
there
in
was
general.
life in general. So I saw this thing online and it's really long, so I will just
Oh, I read
paraphrase it.
Oh,
It's
it's
good,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
So it's a person telling a story about being stuck on a crosstown bus in New York during rush hour. Traffic wasn't moving, the bus was cold, people were tired, and they were irritated. And then, two men were barking at each other, and there was a shove that may or may not have been intentional. A pregnant woman got on, nobody gave her a seat. Rage was in the air. But as the bus approached 7th Avenue, the driver got on the intercom and he said, "Folks, I know you've had a rough day and you're frustrated. I can't do anything about the weather or traffic, but here's what I can do. As each one of you gets off the bus, I'll reach out my hand. So walk by, drop your troubles in the palm of my hand, okay? Don't take your problems home to your families tonight. Just leave them with me. My route goes right by the Hudson River. When I drive by there later, I'll open the window and throw your troubles in the water."
Love it.
Right? Isn't that beautiful?
That's lovely.
And there he said, the person writing this said, it was as if a spell had lifted. Everybody burst out laughing. Their faces had surprised delight. And people who've been pretending for the last hour not to notice each other were suddenly grinning at each other. Like, is this guy serious? And he was serious. At the next stop, that's exactly what he did.
Oh.
And he kept doing it. And this person says, we live in a hard world. Sometimes it's extra difficult to be a human being. Sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes you have a bad day that lasts for several years. You struggle and fail, But what if you're the light? What if you're the very agent of illumination that a dark situation begs for? And I
love
think
that.
in this time, maybe that's for us what we can be, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, direct message us your troubles. We can't fix them, but maybe telling us will help do something like this. We can listen.
And sometimes you just need to get it out. Saying it. I mean, this is why, those of us who are in the life are often I say journalists in that we write journals or diaries, right? Because for me, that's how I process things. I have to get it out. I can't say it. I'm not a spontaneous speaker, or like I think as I'm writing. That's how it comes out.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah. So for some others, I mean, if you've got that free floating anxiety, you don't know what it's about, just start writing. And you may figure it out.
So you did the Artist Way, right?
I've done it several times.
The morning papers, right?
The morning pages,
and morning pages.
Yeah.
But that's like a thing to do like that is to push it all, like just get it out of you, and don't worry about whether it makes sense or anything. Just honestly spew out the fear and the challenges and all of it. And if you feel like sending it to somebody, we will absolutely respond, right? And just sometimes if somebody's walking with you, right, is helps, but it also gets it out of you. And I think that's what that bus driver did was a really beautiful thing. So if we could do that for anybody, and there's no judgment, right? It will never go anywhere else.
No.
It's just if you need to get something out, and we're a safe space, I guess is the way to say it.
I love that. That reminds me of a book I read that I cannot remember the title to right now, but I'll find it and put it up in the editing. And it's about it's something, the title has something to do with passengers or a name for a train, and it has to do with people who commute daily, and I think it is in New York City. And all of a sudden something happens that makes people want to start talking to each other, because they don't. That's the rule of the subway. You're on the subway, you don't make eye contact. It's like the
elevator, right?
That's it. You don't talk to anybody. So something, they all know each other and have names to them. Oh, that's red hat guy. Oh, there's girl with coffee, or something, right? They all kind of know who's regulars.
The regulars, right? It's like there's sweatpants guy. Oh, there's business dude.
Exactly. So something happens that triggers, something else, as all good books have in them, and it makes them to start see each other as humans. And it's a good book. I really enjoyed
what book is it.
So I can't remember the title of it. So
we'll
I will
figure
look it
out.
up. Yeah, I will look it up.
No, but that's really cool. So interestingly enough, talking about the New York subway. So when I lived in Toronto, I went to New York a lot because it was easy and you didn't have to cross the country to get there. And also one of my best friends lived in the city, right? He had a house, Moppy had a house in Brooklyn, right? And even before then, when we were much, much younger, his parents had a house in Queens. So we used to go there quite often. And we drive, because I think you can drive there from Toronto. At least the way I drive in 10 hours or 12 hours.
Okay.
But so we would go there, and we would often leave because I was a bit nervous back then. I don't know if I'd even drive in New York City now, but I would drive my Jeep.
Oh my God.
And then,
I know I would not.
We would take the subway in, right? I was with a girlfriend, and we would take the subway in. And the New York City subway, I was there in the 80s when it wasn't cleaned up, right? And now it's really clean. It's really easy. But back then, and I can remember we went on I don't know, we took the wrong train or something, and so we phoned Moppy, and it was like, Moppy, we're at this station, whatever it was. And he's like, act crazy and don't make eye contact. Now, Moppy is a jokester, so we don't know how serious he was, but he's like, don't make eye contact, get on the next train back. So we took him seriously. I should ask him, because he'll remember this, because he might have been setting us up to look like idiots, right? But it also was like one of those, that was the time before they cleaned up the city, and it could be dangerous depending where you were. Right, but also, so Paul and his dad, my husband Paul and his dad, have gone to New York to see baseball games. They go somewhere once a year, and they get on and they're going to a baseball game, and it's like rush hour, right? I don't know, it's 4:00 on a Friday, say, because they only ever go on weekends. And Paul's like, giving him New York coaching tips. You know this story?
No.
Oh God. So they get on, and he's like, look, Dad, everybody's going home from work. They probably had a hard week. Like, just because his dad is really outgoing. Well,
really
by the end of it, Jimmy knows everybody on the train, and they're all joking with him and laughing. And honestly, Paul was like, he's going to get punched. But no, they're giving him advice on what bars to go to.
There's something magical about him. I don't know him well. I've met him a few times. Enough to know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And he is just lovely. I mean, it's probably a limited dose kind of situation,
He's definitely, he likes to make new friends. And
but
you know
he's
what?
so lovable.
He really is. And I think that's just it. Like, he truly comes across as harmless.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like in that very best sense of the word,
yeah.
in that he just wants to have fun with people.
This is a good segue to a book recommendation that I have, because I may have talked about this one before, and I could have gone back to check the podcast, and I decided, you know what, if I'm repeating myself, then that just means that I really love it. So that's the truth. So I'm going to talk about a book called The Humans by Matt Haig. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now that I've started doing
Yes,
it?
it's all okay with me.
No, stop it right now.
Give me the book.
So this book...
Look at how pretty her books are, though. Hey, mine are all bent up and...
Well, I may buy books in more than one format and then keep them on my shelf to look pretty, and then
it's just
actually
art.
I'll also put them in my Kindle. But this one, the premise of this one is fascinating. And Matt Haig is, I believe that he is known to be on the spectrum, because his books are, doesn't say that on here, but I think I've read that somewhere about him. His books are really, really unusual. So this one is described as his best, funniest, and most devastating dark comedy yet. So the premise of this is an extraterrestrial arrives on Earth in human form, and he takes on the persona of a prominent mathematician at Cambridge. And he's been assigned from his home planet. He's been assigned. It's a punishment, essentially. It's you have to go to Earth and do a thing because you were a bad alien, and then you come back. And so he's there. He doesn't want to be there. He has no idea about Earth, about humans, about how anything works, and he's got to figure some things out and do some things. And he's set into a family, like there's relationships and whatever. So he's disgusted by the way humans look, what they eat, and their capacity for murder and war. And he's equally baffled by the concepts of love and family. Like none of this stuff makes sense to him.
Right.
But as he begins to read poetry, drink wine, talk to people, make connections, he starts to see things. And here's a couple of quotes that
that's cool.
Came up as the highlighted versions in the on Amazon. So here's one thing the character said that he learned. If you want to appear sane on Earth, you have to be in the right place, wearing the right clothes, saying the right things, and only stepping on the right grass.
Huh.
And here's another thing he learned. Some humans not only liked violence, but craved it. Not because they wanted pain, but because they already had pain. And they wanted to be distracted from that kind of pain with a lesser kind of pain.
Oh.
So
that's kind of profound.
It's profound. So it just gives you a little idea. But the discoveries, this idea of what is it to be human? What would it look like to someone who's never been here before? How would they explain us? How would they understand us? It would not be pretty. No. And this is not
That's
pretty, but there are aspects that are beautiful.
Yeah.
There are still aspects that are beautiful, even in the ugliest of it.
Yeah.
So very hopeful book. Definitely worth reading.
No, that's really cool. Now that makes me interested. Mm-hmm. Does he have a cell phone? Thanks you.
Yes.
Does he have a cell phone?
It is set in present day.
Okay. I don't like reading things that don't have cell phones.
No, she doesn't. She's really
I like present day stuff. I am difficult. Roxy,
and I think
as we noticed, last time we talked about the Poisonwood Bible. See, I remember it this time. And we talked about another book you were talking about.
Okay.
And then now this, like Roxanne. So I tend to be, maybe not for a little while, but political nonfiction, or serial killer types, or your books are really good, but they make me want to wake you up in the middle of the night and say, why is that character doing this? But
my answer would be, I don't know.
Mine is kind of limited, and the same as I'm not that interested TV shows and movies, and these Roxanne tells me all the time, but she has I so admire this wide scope of what you read and what you watch, right? Because it's the story. See, I want the story. I kind of want to know the ending before it starts, because I already got enough stress. I don't want any stress in my books or movies.
I want the vicarious stress.
Yeah.
I want the, this is the worst thing. I don't know how I can handle this. I was actually doing some blogging today, just drafting some things, because I have a book coming out next week. So there's a lot of...
a book coming out. This just after this
Yes, actually before the next one.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
Yeah, just before this airs, it'll be launched.
So we'll put a link to
we'll
it.
Put some links to that. But there's lots of, opportunities at that point to be a guest on somebody else's blog, to post something on the publisher's site, to put stuff on this, that, and the other thing, contests and all these things. So I'm, trying to write about the book. And at this point, let me tell you, I am so done with the book. I don't want to write about the book. I don't want to say, but mind you, it is better to write about the book than it is to write the book. So I'm getting that opportunity to kind of sit back a little bit, because it's been a few weeks since I finished it, and say, okay, let's just remember the passion that I had for this idea in the beginning.
Yep.
And as I'm writing about the book, I'm like, you are mean. You're just like, why are you fascinated with this stuff? The pain of being human fascinates me. But what fascinates me more is the people that are able to live through these really difficult things. And my series is about a woman who has triplets stolen from her, and she's told that they're gone, they died, and she spends her life thinking she's a terrible person. And how does she recover from that? So that's really awful.
Yeah.
And yet I find a way to make her triumph in the end, because damn it, they will. They will, if you have enough grit and a lot of luck and some good connections.
And the ability to see a path forward.
Yeah.
Right? But I think so
hope.
Yeah.
You have to have some kind of hope.
It goes back to what we've talked about but also, like, I can say, so this was the first series that I had known Roxanne, that she was writing.
Oh yeah, the whole thing.
And it was
painful.
Well, painful. But also interesting to watch, because these characters mattered so much to you.
Yeah.
That when the story wasn't working out in the way you wanted, it really was like it was painful for you, because you were working so hard to tell their story, and I think sometimes you had to get rid of that chafe. It was getting in the way of the story. But the other side of that is that comes through in the books, because the struggle you had in in moving them forward, because you didn't put them in easy. Like, it's not like, honestly, some of those books where it's like, oh, you meet the girl meets a great guy and he's wonderful, but then they have a misunderstanding, and it turns out he's a billionaire, and he owns a sanctuary for three-legged dogs, and then they get back together because it was all a misunderstanding. Like, there was none of that. This is gritty stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But also, I think anybody who wants to be a writer should go for lunchtime walks with you while you're writing.
Yeah, they should. And that would cure them.
Because we all have this idea, like, that everything is glamorous, right?
Yeah.
And it is hard work to create characters that people will care about, right? And there are lots of characters I will care about for the moment until it gets cheesy, and then they like, and then it's like, you know what, I can't even finish this because now they're not touching my heart at all. And your books, unfortunately, touch my heart a little too deep. So I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, but she's right beside me. Why couldn't she have said? Why couldn't the character have done this?
Well, and these ones, because it's a 4-book series, and I knew from the start that this one, there's one story that's told over 4 books, and then each individual book has a complete story as well. So I had to plot way more than I've ever done. This is the most complicated series I've ever written, and that's not to say it's complicated, because I have a fairly simple mind. For me, it was complicated. So keeping track of things, and also, I don't have a clear image of book 4 when I'm writing book 1. I have a vague image of it, but not a clear image. So as each book progressed, I'm like, oh, this is going to be rough for book 4. But I know exactly what has to happen in book 4. I'll be fine. Book 2. Oh, I just added something. Oh boy, that's going to be a problem in book 4. But not to worry, because I know exactly what happens in book 4. Book 3 happens. I'm like, shit, I'm in trouble. And then book 4 happens. I'm like, I think I got to change my name. I have to move. Awful. So it all worked out. I'm not sure I did it exactly how I wanted it, but it's good enough. It's good enough for me.
But it also, but that's when the characters kind of take on, they
There is
become something, right?
Yeah,
like it's no longer theoretical and here's the story I'm telling, right? Like all of a sudden, to you and to the readers, and I'm one of her readers, right? They become these real people to us, right? And it felt like from me, one step out, right? And because she didn't tell me, she won't tell me what the ending is or anything, right? It's kind of mean, but it's also like for
Sliver
you,
of ice right there, right
but
there.
You could see you wrestling with the character, not because you hadn't fully developed the charter, it was because they were about to do something you didn't want them to do, but they had to, right? You know what I mean? Like from the outside, that's what it looked like.
And that's been the most difficult lesson. I don't have it yet, but with every book, that's the hardest thing to do, is to make them do things that you know they shouldn't do, because that's the essence of great conflict. And you have to have conflict you have to have conflict in books. And I don't want conflict. I don't want conflict anywhere in my life. So I'm just like, can they just go kayaking and be happy? Can they like walk their dogs and rescue the three-legged dogs? And nope.
They need the billionaire for that.
Not in Roxanne's dark brain.
They need a billionaire for that.
I wrote one. You know what? I wrote one. It's actually called the Millionaire Daddy Project. It's the only book that I've written that would be considered steamy. There's some really good sex scenes in that one, but it's funny because I wrote it. How old is that one? It's probably 12 years old now. When it meant something to be a millionaire, and now I'm like, millionaire. Good Lord, the guy's a loser. It should have been a billionaire. So, what was I thinking?
So, could there be a book from you where the woman is the billionaire? Would that sell?
Oh, maybe. Yep.
During this fuck the patriarchy time?
Yeah. It might not be classic romance. I'm just trying to think. And I'm definitely leaning away from that now.
What did you say you're calling it?
I'm calling it anti-patriarchal women's fiction.
Right?
Yeah. Because
more of that,
I did get some pushback from my publisher on various things about this series, and mostly it was when I'm writing something that might be abortion for sure, and I let them have that one. But when you're talking about a series that deals with purity culture, the baby scoop era, and sexual shaming of young women, abortion is in there. Yeah. Abortion and adoption, they're two sides, and no matter what happens, women are punished. So anyway, that's my rant. I'm done now.
It's okay. I'm just making notes so that we can do good.
Usually it's you that's ranting.
I know. I'm being quiet these days because I may punch people. Not you.
Not me.
Okay, so PSA, Blue Sky, there's a new social media platform.
This is so cool. Because I just started on Blue Sky. Do we have this conversation?
I think we just mentioned it a little bit. But so I had it, and it was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, they had more than 700,000 new users. I think it's up to 1.4 million now. And it's the perfect time because Elon Musk and Twitter, also Twitter was a hellhole before the election. It's worse now, right? So it's big companies like, I need to double check what companies. We'll put a list of who did it, but it's huge companies have put on their on Twitter. We're not posting here anymore. Yeah, right. No. Because it's turned into a hellhole. It
was ugly-ish when I left
because Elon Musk got rid of all the people to watch for hate
the guardrails,
speech, right?
Yes, all the guardrails came down. Yeah, so it got really nasty.
And after the election, like that's where people are saying things like "your body, my choice."
Yeah,
right, and stuff like that. And so Blue Sky may be, and it's from somebody who was at Twitter early on.
Yes.
So it kind of looks Twittery to me.
Yeah.
But it might just be the right time because there was Threads, which I know people tried, but it never took off because there wasn't the momentum, right? Yeah. But there's momentum. I'm seeing lots of people on social media saying, "Hey, I'm over at Blue Sky now."
Yeah, me too.
Right? And so that's something to go on. We're going to set up a happy hour over there.
Oh, good.
Because we didn't go on Twitter. Right?
Oh, God,
because it was too much of a hellhole.
No, and we didn't start on Threads either because neither one of us is doing anything there.
Yeah. But the thing I want to talk about is death.
Death. On that note, I'm going to get a Kleenex. I'm going to cry.
Okay. So I'll talk to you guys about death. So I saw this thing that I really liked. It said, "I hope death is like being carried to your bedroom when you were a child and fell asleep on the couch during a family party. I hope you can hear the laughter from the next room." Now, isn't that like a really beautiful? I'll have to repeat this when she comes back. But isn't that a lovely thing? What if what if we're surrounded? Did you hear that death? I hope death is
Yes.
like being carried to your bedroom when you were a child and fell asleep on the couch during a family party. I hope you can hear the laughter from the next room.
I love
like what
that.
a beautiful,
I love that.
What a beautiful way to think about
I
it.
remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that feeling of being carried in from the car.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
fell asleep in the car driving, and then being carried into the house. And you fall asleep in the car as a kid, you are out, you
Yeah.
are dead, you are
Yeah.
unconscious, and then you get into your bed and you're like, "Hody-do."
Yeah.
Even then, I had problems, but that's such a lovely.
Yeah. It's such a
way
great
to
idea
think
to
about
think
it.
that maybe your loved ones can hear the happiness and the
You wanna
joy
get down?
and stuff
Are you
like
stuck?
that.
You want
There's
me to
another
help?
one I'll find, and it's about how this woman goes out for dinner, and you find out, I think it might be a poem afterwards, that it's death, and he has a rare steak and she has cheesecake or something, like she has dessert, and then talk about it, and then it's like it's time to go, and he takes her hand, kind of thing. I'll get that, but it's a really beautiful, like, and it is one of the things that, I think we've talked about this before, but my sister sort of gave me, I think it's the Buddhist way of, if you think about death a little bit every day, it's not quite so shocking when it comes upon you, right? Especially if you're in a situation, and these days with medicine and stuff, you may know that your time is coming, right? It's not that kind of thing. But I thought that was just a really lovely way to think about it.
I love that, and that's something, like we are in our third act, as we call it. Well, me, not you.
I'm 12.
Because you're in your 20s.
Yep.
Well,
emotionally, I'm 12.
Yes.
So, that's fair.
But you start to look at the people around you and watch. I mean, I lost my first friend probably when I was in my 20s, and she was in her 20s, and that was tragic and awful, but unusual, right? And my husband lost his best friend when he was 30, also unusual. And then, because you don't expect it then. Now, at this stage, I mean, nobody gets out alive. So things are going to start to happen. And we talk and we joke about, like, did you see me wince when I got up to go just now?
Right.
I breathed wrong and my back hurts. Yeah. Like, stuff happens. We're going to all get diagnoses. We're watching friends deal with things. And it's a reminder all the time.
Yep.
And hopefully a reminder to cherish them while they're here and make the choices that will bring you the most joy.
Yeah, because that's just it. And if you can find a way to, because there are people that it's like are afraid of death, and the thing is, it's a reality, so we have to find a way to get used to it. But also, if you think about it this way, or you think about it, it's like it's this transition. I mean, I have nothing except feelings about this, but I find it hard to believe that all the energy of a human just goes away. So I think there's something, I don't know what that is, but honestly, whether it's true or not, this belief gives me comfort.
Absolutely.
Right? And things. But I think it's important because, as we don't talk about it enough then what happens is things get left unsaid or undone, and people don't have wills and that kind of thing, and I think it is just really it's quite important. And now, just segueing into something completely different that is a little bit happier. You got something?
Well, I'm just going to briefly talk about how the idea of death and the not wanting to talk about it you're so right, can lead to things like not having So our safe broke in the middle of the night. Don't know why. Something just like the door fell off. The safe in our house, Which it's a fireproof box, but that's where our wills are. Right. That's where there's a few other things in there. Our wills, which still delineate who gets custody of our children when we die. Our oldest is 35.
Right.
We don't need that. Right. So they're clearly out of date. We need to do that. But when our next door neighbor passed away,
the other next door.
Yeah, no, she's still alive.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I may appear dead sometimes, but I'm here.
But she discovered that, well, she knew, I guess, even though her husband had been sick off and on for a long time, they were in their 70s, they didn't have did they not have any will at all? I'm not sure what happened, but
they ended up with the trustee stuff, right? Where it's, I forget, it starts with a P, I think.
Probate. Yeah. It was a mess. It was a mess for her. So that complicates the grieving process, right? Like if you've got bureaucratic stuff, when my aunt's, this is going back decades, when my aunt's husband died, they had 4 cars in the house. She couldn't drive a single one of them because they were all in his name.
Yeah.
Even if they're in both names, if one of the party dies, and I didn't know because that's what happened with the neighbor. But because I have my husband listed on my car, as a driver, not as an owner,
right?
So that we're covered, and him the same way, opposite with us, because. Like, what are you going to do? And she couldn't sell her house until they gone through probate because he was on the title. And they had to deal with all that. So
actually, and that's a good PSA too. Is like just get it in order because it just helps those that are left who are left, right? That are left. But I think that's a really important.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you want to talk about?
Please.
Kids swearing.
Please, let's move on to
kids
something
swearing.
better.
Let's talk about kids swearing on Instagram.
I regret so much today, right now.
You regret just coming over. But
sometimes I just regret opening my mouth ever.
Okay, kids on Instagram that swear. Oh my God. There are these little kids and they've just heard it somewhere. And honestly.
Somewhere.
It's like I tend to have potty mouth. And I try really hard when little kids are around, and I actually think, and I don't swear at work, but man, I can swear. but you see, especially little kids with Scottish accents that swear. Do the accent, Roxanne. I want to go to the pub.
I want to go to the fucking pub. Mom.
That's my favorite one.
But it's my day off. I'm not doing it. I don't know.
Oh my God! But
I call it pan offensive.
It is. I know, but it's so funny, and especially and there's all these reels of people, the kids, and it's like they drop something, and this little 3-year-old goes, "Fucking damn it!" And it's just and I'm sure, and then you can't if I was in the room, I'd laugh too, and the parent laughs, right? Which is not the thing to do. I realize that, but it's oh my God, out of their little mouths is the funniest freaking thing.
I have to really. I mean, I call myself this. I don't think anybody else calls me this yet, but I'm sort of preparing them, paving the way. I'm Granny who swears because I've got a.
I'm gonna get you a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's probably. I got a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old, and then I'll have a new one next year. And it's like, if you rear back as kids do with their head and hit me in the nose, it is gonna. The air is going to be blue. It fucking hurts. It's going to be bad. So, and I'm just well, the only thing that I can take comfort in is that I know they've heard it before. So,
no, but and you can also the other thing is I can see saying, "Oh, that was a bad word. I shouldn't have said that." Right, and then what then you get though is little kids when you say something say. I remember
bad word, Granny.
Victoria, my goddaughter, when I would say something and then she'd watch, and it's you can't say that, and she's I heard you say it 4 times, and it was okay, then you can't say it in front of your parents, right? Because it was okay, bust it, right? And then you'd say something, and she'd be
So I talked to my grandson a little bit yesterday. They were in the car. And they just called to say happy birthday, and he says, and he's the 2-year-old. He says, "How was your day, Granny?"
Oh my God, he's so cute.
Because that's what they ask him that when he comes home from daycare.
Right.
And so he's now learned to ask, when Daddy walks in the house, cute. "How was your day, Daddy?" He doesn't want to listen because he immediately launches into his own thing. But he knows. So it is so
that's
cute.
Just so cute.
And he now kisses me on the lips.
Oh,
and
that's so cute.
he's friggin' adorable. Yeah, I have great grandkids. All of them are just lovely.
No,
but that whole parroting thing, watch out, Granny who swears. But you know what? My kids have told me that they love to hear me swear. This sounds so bad. Just because I didn't at all when they were growing up. They're they know what a really conservative, fairly strict upbringing I had, and how for me, I remember the first time I said darn because it slipped out at the dinner table when I was a teenager, and I was darn, backspace,
darn?
delete, darn. Yes. So now darn is not the worst thing I say, but for my kids it is an expression of how I have lost some of those inhibitions.
Yes,
perhaps I have gone over the line at some point. Maybe I need to pull back.
She's not. You are.
I'm not fucking done yet. So watch out.
What's the right way to say this? There are times when perhaps I say things that might be inappropriate for the moment. Roxanne never does that, but I'll say stuff and it'll be
what?
So yeah, like sometimes I'll be in a bigger group, and it's like, especially if it's about, politics or something, and I say something and you see somebody give me the side eye. You don't do that. Like, it comes, like, it's you're not controlled when you're safe, when you're in a safe space, but you are definitely more aware in a public sphere of you. Like, I've never seen you say it when somebody and then you see people raise their eyebrows. I've never seen anybody. But speaking of birthdays, we have a present for her, but she's got to open the box.
Oh, the box. Do you remember the box? I remember the box.
Okay, just for the record, I was just putting the presents in, and it scared me when I was putting it in.
Fucking box. Okay, here we go. No, it got me again.
Okay, now you got to reach your hand in there. I should have made her reach her hand in without looking.
No. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You're gonna like that one.
Oh, wow. Okay, Ruthie, you're not supposed to do this. Oh, you guys, look at this. So she was thinking of me in Alaska.
So those are Northern Light
I'm putting
earrings.
them on right now.
Wait, do the other thing.
Okay.
That's more interesting.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did you make this?
Yes.
No. Okay, where's the end of it? Here's the end of it. Okay, I might need help.
Here.
How does it work?
So this is a tarot card necklace.
Oh, that's so cool.
There. See?
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, I have to look at all of those cards because they're all going to mean something, and you've thought about this. So, okay, I believe I have told you guys about the gift that she gave me last year for no reason. I don't think it was even my birthday. About the love pills.
No, that was for your 60th birthday.
All right. Okay. I think that you very cleverly didn't give it to me right on my birthday because that's how you roll.
Yes.
So my granddaughter, when she was over last week, she found them in my office because
So it was these little bubbles of things, and I just wrote all
capsules.
the things I love about her.
It's literally, you can buy gel capsules like for anyone who has ambitions of getting into the life. You can buy those online and fill them with whatever you want. She chose to fill them with love for me. She wrote little things on them, and then she rolled them up and she put a little thing on them and then put them in these capsules. So I opened them up, and I opened them up little by little. I haven't opened them all because I want to kind of save them. That's what I do. But she found them, and she's like, Granny, what are these? Can we look at these?
Cute.
So she found them. So I let her take some, but we opened them all up and read them first.
Oh, that's cute.
And she loved them.
Oh, that's
she
so
thought
cute.
that was the coolest thing. So
we should do one for her.
This one knows about gift giving.
We should do one for her.
Oh,
That'd be fun.
she would love that. Yeah. She would love that. Okay, so now I want to see and know more. Now I want to look at these more closely.
Okay, but wait, you can look at them after.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't you think our audience wants to know?
It'll take forever, and I don't know all the cards off my head. I had to look things up.
Okay. We'll tell you more about this later.
We
this
will.
Is really cool.
She'll write a blog post about it.
I will.
Because we need to write a blog post.
Oh, God. Blog post.
Okay, let's talk about what
That's a good
scared
one.
us this week. What'd you do that scared
Empty
you?
pauses on the video. Empty pauses.
What'd you do that scared you this week?
Oh. Okay. I'll tell you what I did. I'm not proud of it. It scared me. Kind of wish I could undo it, but I can't. This is not an Eleanor thing. This is I should have been a better human thing. Does that count?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I took a bunch of clothing and I was planning to give it to, Goodwill, the thrift stores. But I got there after hours and I didn't know that. That's a lie. I did know it because the gate was closed. I really,
Okay.
I
Remember
really,
how we
really
said
want
you
to.
guys should tell us your things and we'll carry them away? This feels like one of those.
I really want to be a better human. This is an example of me not being a very good human. And
But I bet you didn't swear.
I didn't, no. So I took them out. They're two, fairly big bags, recycling bags, and I put them near there because I'm like, we live way on the other. It's half an hour away, and I missed it by like 5 minutes. And I thought, oh man, okay, if I don't come back here, I don't know how long I have to keep driving these bags of clothing around in my car. So I left them. And as I'm driving away, somebody opened the door and she was shaking her fist at me. And you know what? If she had just walked out, I may have felt differently. But because she was shaking her fist at me, I felt like, hey, you don't get to be mad at me. I'm giving you some clothes. Oh, I'm terrible. It's
You're not
good.
terrible.
So
they're going to be nice clothes. You did a thing.
Yeah, some of them were brand new. So I feel that it scared me because I was like, oh, I should put them back in my car and take them to the other one, which is probably also closed. So how long do I have to keep driving these bags of clothing around in my car? True confessions.
True confessions.
That's what scared me this week.
Okay. That's what you did that scared you.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's not so bad.
It was pretty bad. I think that, and I have a car that's fairly recognizable because it's a red with a white roof. I have a feeling if I drove back, she'd be like, that's the one. Don't let her in. We don't want her shit anymore.
That's the one that gave us new clothes. Come on, man.
Maybe. Anyway. Okay, what scared you this week?
So what scared me, which is going to sound completely frivolous and ridiculous, is we're having Indian food tonight, and I ordered from a new restaurant. And we have a really good Indian restaurant here, but there's a new one that's supposed to be really good too. And I want to support everybody, but also I wanted to try the new one. And it's hard when you know the other one is really good. So that kind of scared me.
It's true. We're about to find out.
We are about to find out, which leads us into gratitudes.
It does. Hold on. I'm just going to check and see. Did I miss anything here?
Did you miss anything?
Nope. I had almost no notes, so, it's hard to miss something then.
Okay, what are you grateful for?
Oh, I'm grateful for so much. I have had, it's my birthday week, and I've had so much love sent to me this week. So I'm super grateful for that. I'm grateful for what my husband said, that I did post this on social media, because I was telling him how he was asking me, and he's good about asking questions sometimes. Like, so think about the last year. What are you happy about? What did you do? And we didn't have a long conversation about it, but I, of course, looked down and I went, well, a little more of me to love now than there used to be. And he said, there's not more of you, there's more to you.
Which is really, because you were talking about your books, right?
Yeah.
And about this podcast and all that, which is really kind of cool.
And I thought, you know what, that's how we should all be thinking, is that we're not just our bodies, but we're our experiences, we're our accomplishments, we're our relationships, we're the things that we love, the things that we do, the things that we're passionate about. That's all part of who we are. So
you heard her; she loves me.
I do. I try to avoid it. She's a tough one to get away from.
I'm a pest. That's what it is. I'm a pest.
What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful I haven't killed anybody this week. Does that work? I am grateful that...
I'm grateful you have lawyer friends in that case.
That's true. I have a lot of lawyer friends, I have to say. I have a lot of lawyer friends.
You do.
That should be a warning for people, not you. People.
Oh.
Do you want to come in and do a cameo, Paul? You want to just... I'm grateful for Paul. He's going to come and do a cameo.
He's going to come in and do a cameo.
He'll just say hello.
He gets to sit in between us.
Here,
Hold on.
You want to come in and sit here?
Okay.
Come in and sit?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Yes. You get
There,
Scruffy's
you
spot.
get to...
Do I get the little toy too?
He even has a Ruth and Roxy
Look how cozy
sweatshirt
we
on.
are.
Okay, there. I'm grateful
He
for
does.
Paul.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Roxy. Happy birthday to you.
Well done, Paul. Well done, Paul. Now
She
get the
turns
hell,
52.
Get the hell out of here now.
21. No, he can say, what do we...
52.
So
You had your
52.
kids when you were like 12.
I did. Yes, that's
So
true.
what do we want more of, Paul?
Happy hours?
Yes.
Yes.
What do we want less of, Paul?
Bullshit.
Yes.
Yes.
No. Thanks,
Okay,
you
bye,
guys.
I
guys.
want more eggnog too. I'm watching A Christmas Story, and so I'm having eggnogs.
Oh, that's good.
You are way too early. I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to... Thanks,
Okay,
you guys.
bye.
We'll talk to you soon.